Mo- The next morning, we left, took a plane to Dannag. It was a short flight and we arrived on time. Dannag is a resort and we stayed in a beautiful, beautiful place called Furama, one of the many resorts that exist in that area. Our room was not facing the ocean, it was a disappointment, but we had a very lovely view of the garden. Upon arrival, they gave us cocktails that came in a very sort of strange food, but it was very tasty. The the ladies in the hotel have these gorgeous dresses, which I would have loved to have had. That night we stayed and ate at the hotel. The hotel had a restaurant that served French food and a variety of other food too, and we had a very, very lovely dinner. The next morning at 9 o'clock, we departed the hotel to see a little bit the countryside and visit the city of Hoi An. The countryside is very beautiful and it gave us the opportunity to see some of the developments that were planned. The economy in Vietnam at this moment, starting in 2008, wasn't very good, and so many of those future developments we can see that have stopped, hoping for a better economic environment. Hoi An is an interesting city, but at the same time, I find it was a bit touristic. But nonetheless, we visited the markets that they sell absolutely everything, not only fruits and vegetables, which are very, very colorful and very beautifully presented, but there was also another section in which we could buy clothing, bags and shoes, and many people bought a lot of stuff, but I couldn't see anything that appealed to me. And besides, believe it or not, the sizes are very small and everything had to be done to measure. In Hoi An, we could see by the merchandise and at the same time also the design of the buildings, many influences. Chinese, of course, had been there for 1,000 years, but also there was some Japanese influence in some of the buildings, and actually the Japanese donated and designed a bridge, a covered bridge that is used, of course, for the brides to take pictures. There's always brides all over the place, not only in Da Nang or Hanoi, but we saw them in other cities around Vietnam. We returned to a hotel early afternoon, thinking that we could go swimming, but the weather, despite the fact that it was sunny, was a bit chilly, so we walked around to look at the beach and visited the gardens. The next morning we started again towards Hoi An and passed through a very interesting sculpture gardens. They are fantastic things made in marble. It's a pity they were so heavy that we did not buy anything for our house, which we would have loved. We went to see a village that they have, especially where they grow all kinds of herbs. We had an opportunity to look at and see very close some of the women. They seemed very, very old, despite the fact that I'm sure they were much younger than I am. We passed through a place that they just had a big party for a wedding. My goodness, they had a good time because there were glasses and bottles all over the place. Lunch was on our own, and we were told that there was a very good restaurant, Brothers, about maybe 5-minute walk from where the bus left us. But we decided to take a bici taxi because that was a new experience that we have not tried yet. The restaurant was on the water, and we ate wonderful, wonderful French food. In the early afternoon, the bus picked us up to take us to a dock where we had a boat ride so we could see Hoi An from the river view. There's a lot of activity also in the waterways. They don't only use it for fishing, but selling. And it's always very interesting to see the different architecture. Some not so fantastic, but it reflects a little bit the traditions of the country. The boat took us to a ceramic place, very primitive, in which a very old lady was doing ceramics, and some of our group tried their hands of it. The ceramic was not very sophisticated, but it was interesting to see that the people were so laborious and was really trying to sell you some of the pieces. It was 5 o'clock when we returned to Hoi An, and they had arranged for us a cooking class. I thought at the beginning that was kind of a waste of time for me, but it proved to be rather interesting because we learned a lot of how they prepare the food, giving tremendous amount of emphasis to the uses of herbs that we were told have very fantastic medicinal properties. So you don't only eat for enjoyment, but also you take care of your health. We ate as dinner what we prepared. It was okay. We had some shish kebab and we had some soup, but it gave us also the opportunity to see Hoi An with all the lights. And it is a little bit carnival, but I understand why the locals would like to come there in the evening, especially the young people. There's lots of restaurants and places to dance. So it was a very nice final visit of Hoi An.